How's it? Welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about Carl Jung's active imagination. And the first thing I gotta say here is that anytime I get into any of this like Jungian type work, the vast majority of it goes like right over my head. And I've really only been giving it a try here like the last couple weeks, but I'll do my best to try and explain what it is, at least to my understanding, which probably ain't totally right. But all the information I got on it, the majority of it came from this book here, Inner Work by Robert Johnson. And I didn't read this whole book either. The only part I really read, like every word in it front to back, was the like the kind of last chunk of the book, which is about active imagination. Aside from that, I like hopped around to different chapters and, read a little bit here and there. So in total, maybe I'm approaching about 50% of the book that I read. And even like the way it's explained in here, I didn't find to be totally satisfactory. So I went on, YouTube and was trying to find different videos here and there that would talk about it and kind of break it down in a more like concrete way for me to go ahead and try. So I've probably found like, maybe like a couple hours worth of YouTube videos on it and whatnot. So what it is, from my understanding, is basically this is done when you're fully awake. You pose a question in your mind that's supposed to get to your subconscious. Then you like sit back and relax, try to clear your mind, and you wait for an image to pop up that's hopefully tied to this question that you posed. And then when that mental imagery, that more clear type of mental imagery, so it's not just you, sitting down totally wide awake just trying to imagine some specific scenario. But when that image comes up, hopefully there's a dream character or figure in that mental image that you can then pose questions to within that, kind of like a liminal dream setting to me. And a lot of my work I was trying to do within the hypnagogic space, of course. But you try to pose a question to that figure, not try to influence what they're saying and then like get a clear response from them, right? But then on top of all of that, while that's going on, you're supposed to like be consistently exiting this mental image time, like space that you're in, this meditation that you're in, to pop out and like write down exactly what your questions are, what the responses you're getting back, and then go back to that image. And man, I was having just a ton of problem with that. And I'm not sure if part of that is just like my dyslexia kicking in, but it takes so much of my attention and effort to write out things that, by the time I try to get back to that image, I mean, it's gone. And then I could try to sit there for another like 5-10 minutes, hopefully trying to get that same type of image to come back that I was just in. But that was really hit or miss. But something I liked from some of the other YouTube videos I was watching, there's just one particular one, I'll try to link it in the post if I remember to, but it was like these 3 different like Jungian workers, psychiatrists or something like that. And so when they were talking about it and talking about how they would use that with their clients, they never specifically said that they would make their clients like write everything out. Like the way they were explaining it kind of made it seem more like, they were just staying in that mental image, right? Kind of getting as much of that information as they can. Then they would come back, bring that active imagination session to the psychiatrist. Then they would kind of talk them through it and try to give them some potential answers. And so kind of coming at it from that approach did work a lot better for me, because like I'll be in this space where like the mental imagery is getting really clear. Again, it seems kind of a lot like my hypnagogic approach. But then, I would kind of get too distracted. I get too engaged, would kind of blank everything out, or I'd lose the image. But if I still stayed really calm, didn't move, didn't try to write anything out, and just tried to recall that exact same image, I was decently successful at that. So that stuff kind of worked. But anyway, getting kind of sidetracked here. So going through this book, I did like put a whole bunch of highlights. And when I highlight books, I really highlight too much. I go like highlight crazy. But I do think I kind of want to hop into here and cover some things. I definitely won't go too in depth in it, just to try to bring out some of my highlights, and definitely not all of them. But then kind of give some of my feedback on it. Like there's one thing he writes in here and kind of in the beginning part of his active imagination section that, man, I just totally disagree with. And it's kind of, I can't tell if like the exact way he worded it, like I kind of disagree with the exact way he worded it, but then you kind of get to the next paragraph and it kind of seems like he might be saying something else. But anyway, so I'll cover that and then maybe a couple other highlights here and a few more videos on it. And then I'll kind of just go ahead and wrap the whole thing up and kind of share, what I found to be my best approach, at least in these last 2 weeks, of trying to get at some active imagination type work. But anyway, yeah, so we'll hop into the books next. And until then, keep your meditation practices legit.